Harley. It's the Organic Mechanic, and boy, today is going to be a good day. I'm so excited to share some really neat news with you, some really neat technology, and some really neat processes that our team has been working on for a long time. And I had to be
Right
tight-lipped
on.
about it, but now I
Mhm.
can't wait to share with you and see what you have to say about it.
Oh man, this is so cool. I'm really excited to hear this because I know just kind of the outlines of what this project is, and it sounds like to me, it's gonna be revolutionary. So take it in. Let me know what's going on.
Okay, you bet. So the purpose of this, it really started for some of our agricultural clients, our large farmers and things like that.
Hmm.
And in a lot of areas, I mean, we're talking hundreds to thousands to 10,000s of acres, it is very costly and time consuming to really enhance and change soil biology rapidly and
Hmm.
affordably. Those are
Hmm.
two questions that it's hard to answer. Now, we can do that. It takes several applications and the expense in getting the product to the farm, applying the product to the field. There's so many things involved, the trucking, the shipping, the application, to get these products out there in the volumes that it really makes a difference rapidly. And so, uh, well, I've been in this industry almost 30 years now, and it's always been a barrier to get some agricultural clients on a good biological program because of those factors that I just brought out.
Hmm.
So what we have done um, with the staff members, we have Applied Organic Solutions and we have Kelp4less, .com,
Hmm.
getting everybody involved and then bringing on some other great minds in this project to help move this forward and make it affordable. Well, we've finally done that. And this is so unique. And we were able to file for a patent, a process patent, and a product patent on our delivery method and the ways we're doing this to the farm. And so, what we, uh, well, we'll just start from there. So, what we did, it's called living water. And basically, you inoculate, you biostimulate, and you regenerate every time you irrigate. Every time. And
Hmm.
so, the benefit of this to the farm, it's constantly being applied to their irrigation water every time they irrigate and
Hmm.
at a price they can afford. And and so I'll just explain a little bit of that process. $5 an acre for the farm. That is very affordable for a biological
Yeah.
program.
Hmm.
And it's every time you irrigate. We're kind of micro dosing the biostimulants and the microbials at every irrigation cycle. And we are so excited to talk about this and share the news and try to get, more acreage and more farmers on, the trend upward with soil biology and biostimulants.
Okay. So that $5 an acre, that's for every time you do an application, right? Or is
No,
that
it's
no?
for that's the fee to do it as many times as you want. And how we've done that, let me
Yeah.
explain. So
Yeah.
we in our patent pending process, we actually set up a bioreactor on the farm.
Hmm.
And we set this bioreactor up that is powered by solar energy. And
Hmm.
so our aeration and our recirculation is all done automatically. And we can do this on most any standard tanks that most farmers have on site. And
Hmm.
so what we do, we have a tank, and the tank size is based according to how many acres they're irrigating um, from this water source. So to make things easy, let's say it's a 100-acre farm. And on this farm, they have automatic irrigation that, whether it be drip irrigation, spray irrigation, pivot irrigation, or just old fashioned sprinkler head irrigation, we incorporate our bioreactor into their main water line. So every time their irrigation pump turns on, we inject the microbials and the biostimulants in a micro dose into the water stream, into the water line. And then it's delivered throughout the entire farm. And
Mm-hmm.
one benefit to this is with our system, once you've pumped the the biostimulants in our solution at the rate of 1 gallon per acre every time you irrigate. Now, with our system, when you pump that 1 gallon into the water stream, it has an auto fill device and an auto feed device to refill the bioreactor to regenerate the microbials and biostimulants
Uh,
every time. And the beauty of this system, once it's set up, it doesn't require any extra installation time or installation cost for the grower or the farmer or the farm manager. You can kind of set it and forget it.
mm-hmm.
And it's so beautiful, this system is every month we send them a recharge packet, and they just put the recharge ingredients in the tank and it just continues to do its thing. And so basically what we've done is eliminated any liquid product going to the field, any dry products that they get and have to mix and try to get them on the field in time to make sure the microbials are still viable. We've
Mm-hmm.
eliminated that. So every time they have viable, the living water solution going into the irrigation line, and we are so excited to continue to educate customers and farmers on this program because it is affordable. We have great test data. There's about 33 separate strains in our concoction and with all the food sources.
Mm-hmm.
And the trick to this is to accelerate the bacteria and the microbial uh, growth in the tank. We're trying to do it at minimal volumes. And so that's what keeps the tank active is, let me compare it to compost tea. If you're doing compost tea, you want the highest numbers, the fastest, you want explosive growth. And in our system, it slows that growth down on on a level that it doesn't consume all the food rapidly. It doesn't consume all the oxygen rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And and so when you inject that into your water line, we autofill new fresh water coming into the tank. So we're constantly replacing the oxygen in that tank. And
Okay.
it's uh it's been well received. A lot of our test data has has been astronomical. We actually did a 3-year test
Mm.
on a greenhouse, cucumbers and tomatoes, and the results have been fantastic. And it was so affordable that we thought, we need to take this serious and uh, let's get other producers on board here. So it's been hard keeping tight-lipped about this for such a long time. But now that we got the patent pushed through, I'm an open book. So what do you think about that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I like the idea too that you're not trying to get explosive growth in the bioreactor
Right.
because what's going to happen is you just need enough to prime the pump. You need enough of active growth with good, with your biostimulants, with the enzymes that are being produced, just enough to get to the roots of the plant. I mean, that's where you want the microbes. You want them
Exactly.
when you irrigate, once they colonize the roots, that's where you want the growth. And you want the growth to be not a bloom of microbes that competes with the plant, but enough so they feed on the exudates from the plant. So that you wean them off the bioreactor, wean them onto the plant, and
That's
then
right.
as the roots grow, they'll grow with it. And if there's anything where they start to get out of balance or they run out of food or something on the plant, you're you're giving to them over and over again. So you're always keeping it at a steady growth. So
Yeah.
that I like. I've seen in the past where in my own experiments even when I had too much sugars or something, and I did it in my hydroponics. They would draw down the nitrogen from the plant, compete. So this
Mhm.
sounds good. This is this is a big step that I have never seen before.
Oh, wow. And neat to hear you say that too. And if you want to learn more, you can go to livingwateragriculture.com or $5 an acre.com.
Yeah.
And a lot of good information on there. And we're really excited. And you know me, I've been, giving you little tidbits of what I've been working on. And I keep telling you, I got to be closed mouth about it, Carly.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm able to talk about it, introduce it, I'm going to because it really makes a splash. It's very disruptive in the biological fertilizer industry. And by disruptive, I mean there's a lot of great products out there and great companies that have
Mhm.
really done a lot to push the whole, biological movement forward, the soil microbial movement, the biostimulant movement. But it's so expensive to do some of these programs. The products are so expensive. And because of that, the price of it, we're forced to not being able to put enough on per acre that we need. And so, there's many products that make a huge splash. It's small amounts, a quart per acre or, ounces per acre. But it's just a one-time shot. You can only afford to do it one time. They're spending between $30 an acre and $80 an acre for a biological program. And many times the returns do not
Mhm.
justify that cost. Now, the benefits to the soil long term, of course, are great, and we all want that. But as farmers and producers, we need to turn a profit. That's how we stay in business. And so the biological industry has kind of been on a treadmill for a long time with all these great products. And so
Mhm.
with what we've done by being a little bit disruptive is we've made it affordable. We've in our bioreactor, we're starting with only known, proven, studied strains. We're
Mhm.
not putting any impurities in it. We're not overfeeding it, like what you said, and we're not putting anything that could be carry any diseases or pathogens in it. We're not using compost. We're using pure strains of bacterias and fungi and, in a broad spectrum. And again, we've only chosen the true studied, tested claims by universities, other agriculture type venues. So that's a big point to this system. We're not doing anything unknown or anything foreign. And so far, the results have been great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important, the return on investment. I mean, that's the bottom line. We
Yeah.
know that it's proven over and over and over again that these things work. They
Mhm.
improve the quality and improve yield and
Yeah.
improve plants' natural resistance to pest and disease. But at what cost?
Right.
Sometimes, you know, it's just not, even though I got better yield, I'm not getting enough yield to justify what I'm putting in for input. So the cost, being able to do that, $5 an acre, that's fantastic. And the other thing, there always was I don't know, an argument against the organics in the past was inconsistency. Say sometimes it works good, under certain circumstances, certain environment. Other times it doesn't work. They're saying, well, let's just use the chemicals because we know what we're going to get every time. But here, you're controlling the dose. So you should, I mean, there's always extremes in temperature or whatever. There's no absolute, but you should be able to have um, reproducible results and be able to, predict predictable results every time. So that
Mhm.
are the two major, I don't know, weak points of organics. I think you're addressing them. I can't wait to do some trials or see some more trials and more applications and see what the farmers are getting. And maybe there's still always, Brandon, there's always going to be places where we want to make adjustments but you can do
Hmm.
that. You can do it
Hmm.
on your end. The farmer doesn't have to do it. You say, we're going to change, two of these microorganisms. Maybe they're not working well enough together. Maybe you need a slightly different strain of this or of that. But you can determine that from your trials, and then the next pod will have actually get better results. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's fantastic. Um,
Good. Good. Let me.
I have a
Oh,
question. Are you adding just microbes and biostimulants, or are you adding any kind of minerals with it, or is that separate?
okay.
The
There,
mineral
there
part.
is a small amount of minerals in it in some of the food sources that we use.
Hmm.
Absolutely. But primarily, we're focused on the microbials and the food source for the microbials and the biostimulants that are produced. So that's what we're focusing on, and it's great because this can work with any system. We're telling our farmers. Let me back up a little bit. In the past, you would have to have the farmer omit a product that he's using already to be able to afford a biological program
Mm.
because it was the only way it made sense in the budget. And so with this program, we can say, no, if you're having great results and happy, keep using what you're using. At only $5 an acre, I mean, we want you to keep doing what you're doing. At $5, it's really not a heavy cost burden to get the living water system into a farm. So that's one point. Another key point with some things that you brought up here is we're seeing the best results where this just bangs quickly is in the
Mm.
standard conventional farms. Just the regular farming practices. We can call it whatever we want, conventional, synthetic, chemical, whatever. This is where we're
Mm.
finding just explosive results rapidly because those are the soils that really need the introduction of this biology into the soil at high levels. And uh, so it works great for those soils. And on organics, it's it helps tremendously, and it overall health of the soil. But in organics, we find the soil's been a little bit more taken care of. It's not
Mm.
so starved for the microbial process going on because a lot of cover crops are used, less tillage is used, and the inputs they've been using for X amount of years have not been toxic to the biology base. And
Mm.
so, yeah, it's great for both systems, organic and conventional. And so, it's not organic approved yet, but it will be. Everything's been filed. We kind of had to wait for all the patent process to be able to go ahead and apply for the organic status. But it will be registered for use in all states.
Mm.
And to address what you said is we can manipulate what's in the tank. So our living water program, we actually have three versions of it. The general
Mm.
standard formulation that we start the bioreactor out is called Soil Fix. And it's a tremendous biological concoction that just really helps condition the soil. It really helps with salinity reduction, and it really
Mm.
helps in natural humus production in the field.
Mm.
Natural humus production. That's what's
Mm.
destroyed by over application of nitrogen and over tillage. You destroy that natural humus base. And then as we treat it with soil fix, we have another product, another biological concoction that we call nitrogen fix. So we just go
Mm.
in, heavy handed on the nitrogen fixers and the food source for that occurrence. And then the third
Mm.
product we have is phosphorus fix.
Ah.
And so we go in heavy handed on the phosphorus fixing food sources and microbial blends. So, and we'll be able to adapt that as we move along, as we get going and learn things. We might be able to do concoctions for any type of deficiency or any type of situation that comes along. That's where we want to be. And I'm going to need your help to to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, yeah, I can help you with that, and I'm would be happy to do it because This is important. To me, this is, you know, with my biohydroponics, that's what my class is tonight, by the way. It's combining the minerals and biostimulants. But there's a
Okay.
missing, but there's a missing part, and that's the microbes. I teach about the microbes, I teach about but microorganisms not only make the biostimulants, aid with uptake, but they also produce volatile organic compounds that can, like Bacillus subtilis, GBO3, that even if it doesn't touch the roots, it can activate 600 genes in the
Hmm.
plant. So that's real time. That's nature's kitchen.
Yeah.
I can't put that in a bottle. I can't mix that into my hydroponics, but you can with the bioreactor because it's alive. It's living water. So those get to the roots, and then you get that additional benefit of the communication between the microbes and the plants, which I wish I could do with, just, oh, let me just put the volatile compounds in there. Can't do it. It's impossible. It's real time. So yeah, this is exciting. I'd be happy to help you with that. And there may be some things we can do along the way. Maybe there's some trace elements,
Hmm.
that the microbes need to activate the enzymes a little more efficiently, to fire this up a little more. We don't know. We don't know where the research is going to go, but you've solved some problems, and that's what business is all about, meeting that need. And I'm excited for you, and uh, I'm uh, I'm proud that somebody out there. And if who's going to do that? You're one of the best. You've been doing this 30 years in
Yeah. Thank
different
you.
ways. You're the organic mechanic. You know how to fix things. Oh, and I love what you're doing too. Have that nitrogen fix. I never thought of that. Well, yeah, give it a more of a balance for the nitrogen fixers. Oh, and the phosphorus. There's a whole bunch of products that all they want to do is fix the phosphorus, to unlock the phosphorus in the soil, unlock the phosphorus in organic matter that's already there, that the farmer's already paid for,
Yeah.
sometimes years
Yeah.
after year, it's locked up, and feed it to the plant. Those two things alone are critical. That's part of NPK. But then the more subtle part to me is the more exciting part, where we're getting that better uptake of nutrients in general, and the health of the plant, and the
Exactly.
stronger immune system. That way you don't have to spray as much. Think of how much money the farmer, what the cost, $5 a day. Think how much they're going to save just
Hmm.
in not having to apply as much fertilizer, not have to apply as much of the pesticides and fungicides, or
Uh, uh,
eliminating them, even if they get this really dialed in.
I know.
Yeah,
It's so exciting. It's so exciting.
yeah.
And along what you just spoke about, we're trying now. The patent covers greenhouses and everything as well. So we're trying to pinpoint and fine tune, the greenhouse, the small area, side of that things. Even though a lot of our testing was done in a greenhouse, uh, we have to dial a few things in to be able to kind of, I guess, market it and make sure we're rock solid in the greenhouse industry, because a lot of their practices, they're quite similar to agriculture and farming, outdoor farming, but there's a couple things we're dialed in, and we'll have that available for greenhouses or small gardens and things like that. So we're excited about that. Um,
Mhm.
that's what I'm going to have you help me on. And to address your comment on making nutrients available from an agriculture standpoint, a farmer standpoint, many times they have to do trace nutrient and micronutrient applications on their farm mid-season. Okay, a
Mhm.
plant's very deficient in zinc. The tree is very deficient in iron. They're very deficient in whatever. just just the cost of application alone can be anywhere from $15 to $20 per acre just for what's involved to get it put on. And that doesn't include the cost of the product. And so what we found in some of our testing, especially our tissue testing and our soil testing on fields that we've been doing this, is the availability of nutrients in the soil, which you brought up,
Mhm.
and the nutrient analysis in the tissue or petiole or our crop testing results. And so
Mhm.
it's very neat to see that we're producing those same things that me and you talk about all the time, getting those nutrients into the plant, getting those nutrients available in the soil. This is happening, and it's happening without any application of additional nutrients. For example, we have a soil test from treated and non-treated fields, of course. Okay.
Mhm. Right.
The treated fields with the microbials, they had so much more available phosphorus, and this is in the soil
Mhm.
test, so much more available, almost everything. The the micronutrients, the potassium, and we didn't even add it.
Right.
And
Right.
that's cost savings right there.
Yeah. Ah, okay. I can see why you're excited. You're getting me
Oh man.
excited.
Oh, thank
This
you.
this could be a game. Well, it will be a game changer for a lot of people. You know what? I like to think ahead a little bit. You know, that's kind of the way my mind works. For the greenhouse industry, there, I don't. You probably know this, but sometimes there's some plants or strains, or like say tomatoes, may want a different naturally have a different balance of microorganisms that some other crop might have.
Hmm.
So I could see down the, I'm thinking ahead, sorry about that, but down the road having a pods just for tomato production, greenhouse tomatoes, or another one for for bedding plants maybe, or for some other crop, maybe for sweet peppers, whatever. So you could, it's almost like you have a fertilizer that's slightly different for some different crops. You could have a
Hmm.
micro balance for different crops that
Let's
are
do
that's
it.
proven to work
Let's do
on
it.
that crop.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of understanding what microbes there are in nature, which ones the plant likes, which one it supports the best, and then just
Yeah.
giving them what they want, you know, give them what they need. But
No,
I'm now again,
Harlan,
I'm thinking, I'm sorry, we got to introduce what's there now,
that's
but I
good
can
though.
see that. I can see that down the road.
That's
That was one of the
exactly.
things that when the scientists that were developing the stimulant products, like the bloom stimulants and things, that was one of the things they told me that because the biostimulants stimulate the metabolism of any microorganisms that are there. So they said instead of trying to match you'd have to have different formulas for different crops. So they wanted to just have something that would work for every crop because you're stimulating metabolism of the microbes that are already there. But this is one step beyond that. This is a way that you can actually match the crop with the microbes.
Yeah, I'm so glad you can see the vision. I mean, I'm so glad you can. Um, I could tell your light bulb went off, immediately. And
Hmm. Yeah.
for those in the industry, it makes so much sense. And yeah, we're going to end up being disruptive, but in a good way. I think this is a good turn for this industry moving forward. And the more like-minded individuals that we can bring on board and help the purpose, I really feel we're doing the right thing. And it's affordable. It's
Hmm.
just, it has all the checks, all the boxes. And so thanks for listening.
Well, this was fun. I know a lot of these podcasts I've done more than my share of the talking. This is really great to be inspired by the
Mm,
things that you've been working on yourself. I've had some of, I always thought bioreactors would be a great thing to add, but then that's the thought. I have I imagine that, I think about it. Oh, wouldn't that be great if we did? If I was going to do organic hydroponics, I would do this. But you're doing it, Brenda. You're not thinking about it. You're actually doing it, patenting it, and releasing it to the market. So, kudos. You know, you when it's just up here as an imaginative thought, it doesn't help anybody. But but we still need that. We still need to use the imagination and think, what are the possibilities? What are the pros, the cons? How can we improve it? It's still. I guess I have a place in the process, but thank you, Thank you for doing this and bringing it into the real world.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I really got to say, it's not me alone. I owe so much gratitude and thanks to the team, my partners, my family members, my brother, and our partners at Encresco, um, uh, company we're working with. The will kind of they're overseeing the rollout of this. They're kind of like the master distributor, or they have the people in place to make it happen. Because me, I'm not a business person. I'm really not, and I know what I'm not good at. And our partners that are involved, they're good at that side of it. And what's neat about this is nobody's being greedy. Nobody is being greedy. We really want to keep the price down that an average farmer can do this. I don't care if you're, you know, irrigating feed corn. I don't care if you're irrigating, a turf farm, or, just whatever, maybe not a large profit crop, or maybe a commodity crop. Well, those are the kind of soils that really need this the most, to really start a trend so we don't end up with another dust bowl.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm very thankful for the staff, all the staff on our team, and all the great gentlemen that have supported me and seen the vision. And I owe them much thanks. I just had an idea. They helped me, bring it to the public to roll it out. So I have a lot of gratitude to everyone involved.
Okay. Well, let's see where this goes. Maybe we can
Yeah,
change the world one more time.
let's do
You
it.
know,
Let's
it's
do it.
it's.
I'm ready.
Well, you know what? Here's something we don't even think of. Not only are we saving the farmers or improve, and benefiting the farmers, let's say that way, not saving them, but we're protecting the environment.
Yes.
I mean, this is living soil. This is not something that's going to run off into the lakes and cause problems. In fact, it's
Hmm.
going to eliminate a lot of the pollution from the farmers. I see it up here, up in Leamington, Ontario, and in
Yeah.
Canada. Just the runoff from the farms are causing blooms of algae that are destroying the life in the lakes, polluting the groundwater or the surface waters. I see it every summer when the temperatures go up. They're trying to cut back on the amount of fertilizer that they're using. So, but you can't penalize the farmers for protecting the environment. Let's reward them for protecting the
Right.
environment.
Protecting the
Okay,
environment.
well, that's my
Yeah.
soapbox for the day.
But at that point, I got to make one more statement here. So we did some trials on a golf course. Okay. And they really liked it. They really loved it. But they had a concern that it increased the earthworm population so much that it was
Oh,
making, a lot of mounds where they didn't want the mounds. And so that goes back to, maybe you can help us dial in, a crop specific blend. But I mean, who in the world would not want more earthworms? It's so
right.
funny. So funny. Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't win them all.
Yeah, I remember back when I was a teenager, for a little while I worked in a photography studio, just as a grip, just helping. I was just a teenager, right? And we had to do a shoot with some lawn furniture. So we went out early in the morning to a golf course, which supposedly we had permission. I don't know. I was just moving stuff. But we went out to the greens and we had to pick earthworms off the greens because they came up over the night and we had to
Uh,
clear some space so we could take the shot. Yeah, so yeah, it could be a problem, but that's one of those problems that's for most people be a happy problem. Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, are
Man,
we
I
done
could
for
do this all
today?
day. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean
We
we
got
could
to.
talk for 2 hours. I mean I'd love to hear more, but we can save it for later. I want
Okay.
to talk to you. I want to talk to you privately sometime this week because I want to hear more of your story personally.
Okay.
You got me thinking here.
Oh, yeah, fire away because your inputs, yeah, much appreciated. You know me. When Harley Smith calls, I answer.
Yeah, you do. You do. And that's always been good. Okay. I guess we're done for now. So thanks a lot. And the
Okay.
people out there that are viewing, there, what's the website again for the product?
Livingwateragriculture.com, $5 an acre.com, and there'll be a new one coming out that's soilfix.com, and that's soil, PHIX.com. But for right now, livingwateragriculture.com.
Okay, good to know. If you go, I'll check out the site myself, and I hope our viewers do the same. So I'll see you
You
next
bet.
week.
Okay, thanks,
Bye.
Harley. See ya.